Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Newsmaker. Special because my guest is someone who is the most loved person in Mumbai today. My guest is Ashwini Bhide, the Managing Director of the Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation and the person who was just flagged off Metro Line 3. Of course, flagged off by the Prime Minister, but the regular run starts today. Ashwini Bhide, thank you very much for your time. I can't tell you how important you are in my own life. In your previous avatar as additional commissioner at MCGM, you had flagged off the coastal road, the freeway, which I use practically on a daily basis. I use the monorail. I wanted to show you the card. I'm a daily user of the monorail as well. So thank you very much for all that you have done for Mumbai.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, now let me start with the metro line itself. October, September, you're starting it. Was it deliberate so that it sees about 8-9 months of run before the next big rains?
No, I don't think it was deliberate, though we had planned the commissioning last December itself, but it took time because even if the broad infrastructure is ready, the testing and commissioning takes a lot of time, and it took more time in underground metro because there are multiple layers of system which need to be tested, and we need to reach a certain stage of automation. And that is why it took us longer time. And one good thing happened that we completed the major monsoon phase also. So it coincided, but
Okay.
there was no, in fact, earlier had we commissioned it, it would have been better for us.
Oh, better for you. No, but what were the teething problems in the last 8 weeks? I mean, we were given to understand September and then October 1st, and now it is October 7th. Okay, not a big delay, but looks like there were teething problems?
No teething problems. There is a process involved because before any section is commissioned, it needs to undergo the safety checking. So it is done by Commissioner of Metro Rail Safety, and it is divided into two phases. One is the testing for the rolling stock, that is the train, and then the main section. So first we submitted our application for trains. It took us some time, and we ourselves delayed the application for main line because we were to complete certain things. So as I said, the last integrated testing, it took us some time, and even some of the tests, we had not been able to complete it. So there we have kept the manual kind of arrangement, and that is the reason. So project involves too much of complicated technical work, so it took us that time.
Okay, fair point. Now I've got a rush of questions from my own, office team, which is, wanting to use all kinds of, use the metro line itself. The first thing is apps. I mean, there are people who are using the Ghatkopar-Versova line, Metro Line 1. There are people who are using the Andheri-Dahisar line as well. But there are 3 different apps. Are you looking at one app at some time?
First of all, there will be a kind of integration in terms of how people book their tickets. National Common Mobility Card is something which will operate on all metros. In fact, even if every metro company issues a separate NCMC, that will be operable on all metro corridors. Today, our NCMC card is not ready. That will be available by end of November. That's what I see. But we are starting with the QR code tickets, which are available on our ticket vending machines, on our ticket office, as well as on our app. And we have done away with our independent closed loop card, which other metros are having. And I'm sure that all metros in some time will be going only for NCMC card, and we would also consider a common app, or at least give some link for other metros on our app. So that will, the kind of integration which is required for the commuter's convenience, that will be done among all metro operators.
Okay, so that it is work in progress. I just want to attract the viewers to the backdrop where you are seated. The metro coach can be seen as clearly as we could manage in a television screen. But to come back to talking business, the bigger need for us, for me as a person who will frequently go to town for press conferences and to BKC from Worli, where our office is the next part. BKC to Colaba. Can you give us a timeline, and is it less likely to be delayed?
No, we are thinking of doing it by March 2025 because that work is also more than 90% complete. There are only a few pockets in between which started little late, which were more complicated, like the Girgaon station or Acharya Atre Chowk station in Worli, where because of the lot of local issues, the work there started late than the other stations. So there we are still working on completing those stations. So those are the only pain points as of today. But we are trying to wind them up, and March 25 is our target date. But as I said, when I set the target, it may go a couple of months more, because even if we complete the entire work, the testing takes some time. So I'm giving a time frame of say March to May 2025. Within that, it should be complete.
Okay, March to May. That's very good. That's not a long wait. Just the other now, like Oliver Twist, we will ask for more. Metro Line 4. Because that's a really big trans line from the easternmost suburb to the central Thane, Vadala to Thane. The approximate time?
That is being done by MMRDA, and I don't have full details of that in terms of timeline. But as I understand, more than 70% of their civil work is already over. They are in the process of issuing the tenders for systems, and I guess some of the tenders might have already been issued. The depot issue is also resolved for that line. So it may be another year or so. That's what my fair guess is.
Okay. Are there connections? I mean, I noticed that somewhere at Mahalakshmi, the monorail connects with the metro line.
Yes.
Are there these connections being planned also with the railway line? For instance, in Vadala, we are able to get to the monorail from the local train. Will there be these connections elsewhere planned?
I think what sets apart the metro line project is the kind of comprehensive connectivity it gives with not only the existing public transport corridors, but to the future corridors also. Just to name, line Central Railway is connected with this corridor at CST station.
Okay.
That is Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj terminus. There one entry is actually entering into the subway, which connects to CST. So people can straight away, it's a dedicated walk. At Churchgate station, it is just 150 meters walk to the subway. At Mumbai Central, our station entry just outside the Mumbai Central station, and it also connects to the State Transport Bus Terminal, which is at Bombay Central. Then at BKC, we will connect to line 2, and it will be a ped-to-ped connectivity. We have already kept one entry which will directly connect to line 2. So that is very important. At airport, line 7A, which is coming all the way from Dahisar and it will connect to airport. We will have at T2, there will be a connection. So from anybody who is coming all the way from Dahisar also can get on line 3 and go to Cup Parade. Line 1 is already connected at Marol Naka, and line 6 at JVLR Aarey.
Okay.
So this is the most connected line, I would say.
Okay.
And 2 terminals of airport are also connected. And this is the only corridor which goes to Island City. And at Mahalakshmi, monorail station will be very close by. So whatever finer and smoother last mile connectivity is required, that we will do as we see the commuters' response and their requirements.
Okay. Well, the more important point is, are you also talking to BEST? Like, for instance, when the mate, line comes up all the way from BKC to Colaba, when we come out, say, at Dharavi, or we come out at Worli, have you all been speaking with BEST to get connections to the main, Baba Saheb Ambedkar Road?
We are doing that. In fact, one full team is working on this multimodal integration and last mile connectivity. So today we have focused on clearing up our entry-exit station areas and creating spaces and niches where either an auto stand or a taxi stand or a bus stop can come. And then we are talking to all of them. Our team members are closely coordinating with BEST. And we have already suggested them that how they can shift their bus stops or add bus stops. Now, for some time, as we commission the operations today, we will observe the commuters' travelling pattern also, what kind of connectivity they would need, where exactly the bus stop or the auto stand or the taxi stand is required, and accordingly that will work, because one full team is working on this last mile connectivity.
Okay. Well, for the moment, let me move away from being a Mumbai commuter to a business journalist. What is the expectation in terms of break-even? The ticket cost is 10 to 50 rupees, but the cost of the line itself, I understand, is 38,000 crores. So do you see it a very long way before you break even? We have to live on state government subsidies?
See, typically the metro projects in India, They are funded through equity from both Government of India and Government of the state. It is an equal equity. The tax component of it, there are no tax exemptions. The tax component, the cost towards land acquisition and rehabilitation and other things, they are again funded by both governments as subordinate debts. And the major debt comes from the multilateral funding agencies,
Yes.
which is very, very cheap and which has a long tenor. So in our case, even though the project cost is 37,000 crores, roughly 21,000 crore we have received from the JICA, that is the Japanese International Cooperating Agency, at a it's a very soft loan with 10 years moratorium and 30 years total repayment period. Return on equity is in a way not expected by government of both governments. It's a social cause. Subordinate debt is also to be repaid much later. So today our burden is basically to pay the interest, and then our the main debt will also, that repayment, the servicing of debt come, and we would be able to have that revenue which will help us servicing our debt and also have operation and maintenance cost covered. So that kind of assessment has already been made. And apart from that, every year roughly 200 crores of revenue we are expecting from non-fare box revenue. That is the station naming rights, the advertisement rights, then there are the retail spaces, and we have already booked that.
Okay.
So these are the things which will make this project financially viable in terms of covering our O&M cost and servicing our debt.
Okay. Ashwini, hold on to that thought. I have to take a quick commercial break, but I'm a business journalist, so the business questions of finance in a minute after this break. Welcome back to this very special edition of Newsmakers. My guest is Ashwini Bhide, the Managing Director of the Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation, which has just started off an important arterial line, Metro Line 3. Ashwini, thank you very much for your patience and for waiting by. Let me come back to thinking as a commuter. Ashwini Bhide, one of the complaints I have is that, and you have been an assistant commissioner with MCGM, so I'm almost speaking to the Bombay Municipal Corporation when I speak to you. We don't have footpath connectivity. For instance, monorail itself. When we walk from Worli Naka to the monorail station in Lower Parel, when Delisle Road came up, they didn't think of us commuters. We still had to climb up and down the railway lines to get to, to get across the line. Will you all now concentrate on footpath connectivity? Because the big thing about public transport is you need walkways to the stations. Is that a project?
I fully agree with you, and I share your views on this. In fact, this is how Mumbai used to be once upon a time. That suburban rail system was the main connectivity. BEST would take you at a certain thing and then people would walk.
Absolutely.
Walkability was the highest. In fact, walking trips even today are highest in Mumbai. But unfortunately, we don't have the pedestrian infrastructure. I personally feel that once the metro network is complete in a way, that will pave the way for enhancement in pedestrian infrastructure. Because a lot of people would shift from road to this kind of public transport. There will be more space available on the road. Today, the road traffic is so much that all attempts are being made to widen the road wherever it is possible by even eating into the footpaths, which I myself also don't appreciate. But today, probably we don't have any option. So, enhancement in public transport network, that is the rail-based public transport network, is going to improve the overall concept of transportation in Mumbai. Because so far, we were depending only on north-south suburban network. And there was in between so many new business spaces came up, new employment centers came up, and there was no connectivity. We depended for past 2 decades, more than 2 decades, only on the road connectivity. And that is creating all the problem. But with metro network now coming to close, maybe it's a matter of 2 years or so, when line 2 also gets completed, line 3 will get completed by March to May, then probably we will have more space on the road, we'll have more time to give attention on the walkability enhancement. So,
you're absolutely echoing my angst. I mean, I was proud of the coastal road and I was proud of the Atal Setu, but my crib was that is for motor transport. What about us public transport users? And especially, as you correctly said, as long as we were working in South Mumbai as the Central Business District, Churchgate Line, Harbour Line and Central Line, this evacuated the workers beautifully. We all had, within an hour we reached home. But when BKC became the main business district, we have a problem. There has been no connection to Bandra Station, Science Station and Kurla Station. That should have been priority. Are you planning that?
Yes, when BKC was planned, I think as I could see from the history, a rail line was there. There was a spur up to BKC, and the land was reserved for that also. But doing an at-grade broad gauge connectivity in an area like BKC was probably not a very wise idea. So that was dropped at some point of time, and in that process we lost the concept of connectivity to BKC. And we don't have, I fully agree that there is no direct connectivity to Bandra or Kurla terminus, and that has created problem. But now line 2 itself will solve that problem, because line 2 is giving connectivity to Bandra station as well as to Kurla station. Okay. So that
you mean
is
Metro Line 3?
Metro Line 2 I am talking about. That is the elevated corridor which MMRD is doing, and that is also in advanced stage of completion. We can see the work happening in BKC itself. And Metro Line 3 is perpendicular to that line. So at BKC station, we have an underground Metro Line 3 station, and on top of it there is
the
income tax, at near income tax elevated station. And on that entire road from the main road of BKC, which connects to LBS,
yes,
from Western Express Highway, there are 3 stations of line 2, elevated stations. And so the main traffic which would come from BKC to BKC, that can always take all these corridors. So people can take suburban rail, change it at BKC, Bandra station or at Kurla station. They can take all other line 2 of metro line 7 also, or line 1. Everything gets connected to line 3.
But when, yes, madam, when was the Metro Line 2 connecting Bandra and Kurla?
Metro Line 2 is, it is pretty advanced. One section of it is already commissioned, and again, I think by this December or next, not December I would say, but by next December it should be ready. That's what I could guess from the work, the status of that work which I'm seeing. But apart from that, even after getting the metro commission, you will need further connectivity in BKC to take people to their respective offices, yes, and for that a proper plan will have to be made.
Okay. No, even if you will give us footpaths, we will be happy.
Yes.
So long as we can get to BKC, and then you can walk to NSE or SEBI or Kotak Bank or whatever, whichever the bank we want to reach over there, since all the financial centers are over there. The key point is, when do you expect the problem in BKC itself to be resolved? I don't know how often you take the new connector from BKC to the eastern suburbs. It's impossible because the Sion Bridge has been broken down. So we need this connectivity with greater urgency now. So when do you think BKC gets declogged? And I can tell you, all the treasury houses, all the banks, all the financial centers are listening to you. When will BKC get declogged?
I think line 3 itself will reduce some stage, because many people, say from Warsaw, who are today taking a road vehicle to reach here, they will take line 1 and then they come here. Of course, from BKC station to take them to their respective workplaces, we'll have to make a plan. But some vehicular traffic will go down. But line 2 only will be some kind of a game changer. Once it is completed, then BKC traffic will more, I would say, moderated. And then Science Flyover complete, because today's problem in BKC is because of
the Science Flyover.
Because BKC is being used as a thoroughfare kind of a space, and that is why that problem is there. But it will take, it will gradually reduce with the introduction of these metro lines and some more better traffic engineering and traffic planning.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. It's hell now. We were all thinking that when Metro Line 3 comes, life is going to be easier. But and we were hoping that the Sion Road Bridge will be broken down after the metro lines come. But we still don't have the arterial line from BKC to Colaba. If that comes, perhaps we will complain less. So many fewer people will use the road transport over there. The final crib I have as a Mumbaiker is, Mumbai is at least 50 years too late with the metro itself. Yes, you may say Ghatkopar-Versova came, but Ghatkopar-Versova is not an arterial line. The first arterial line is Metro Line 3. It's like, at least it should be a 1980 line, or it should have been at least a year 2000 line. What's delaying? What delayed it so much? And even this line, the various metros 3 to 7, after you all conceived, it was conceived in 2013. I mean, this is 11 years. Why is it delaying so much?
See, first of all, the Mumbai's metro master plan was prepared in 2004, not before that. Before that, nobody had thought of even Mumbai would be needing additional rail-based public transport connectivity.
They thought, madam, we used to read so many newspaper articles and even write letters to the editor. And we would get lame excuses like it is sandy soil. I mean, it's not New York sandy, they're all coastal cities. I think we
Line 3 in some format was there in 1961 plan also, but it was mainly the rail corridor. The concept of metro we didn't have. So that came only after, because Calcutta Metro had not even been really a successful metro that up to that point. But when Delhi Metro got commissioned in say 2002 or 2004, that time I think Mumbai also thought of having a metro. So 2004 the Metro Master Plan was prepared, and by 2007 we started Metro Line 1. But again, funding was a major issue. The concept of this project being funded through state budgets or getting multilateral funding, that was still not there. So Metro Line 1 was conceived on PPP, and then all other metro projects were conceived on PPP. But it is not possible to build all metro and make them workable on a public-private partnership. Line 2 was first awarded on PPP basis, but it fell through. It couldn't succeed, and that's why it took time. So it's not that government was not working. They didn't find the right model to implement the project, to finance the project. And Metro Line 3 was probably, I would say, the best funded and the best financially structured project, because we have this state and center equity subordinated and a multilateral funding agency with such a soft nature of that loan. But then the problem was construction. It's an extremely challenging project, doing fully underground project in a city like Mumbai without stopping the pace of Mumbai, dealing with all dissenting notes, dealing with all kinds of litigation, dealing with the social engineering issues like land acquisition and rehabilitation. It took time. But I think we are now on the right path. Everybody wants their transport problem to be solved. So we are getting that cooperation. It's a matter of time. It's only a couple of years probably. When Line 2 gets commissioned, I think Mumbai will be truly blessed in all respects.
Thank you very much for giving us this plan of connectivity. You know, we always envied Delhi because they had Sridharan, who was the father of the Delhi Metro. Now we have a Sridharan in you. Thank you very much for ensuring that traffic and movement in Mumbai, transportation in Mumbai, will be far easier. Thank you very much as a Mumbaiker, and all the very best for the future projects as well.